Everyone, Tim Brown. Welcome back to my Apple Podcast. For this episode, I want to feature QuickTime. QuickTime, of course, is the native application that comes with your Mac. But for this episode, I'm going to actually show you two versions of QuickTime. The other version is QuickTime Pro 7. This is an application that you can purchase online for $29.99. And what's nice about it is that it gives you a little bit more flexibility than you normally would have with the native app. For one, you can edit clips and you can export them into a variety of formats. So for example, you're looking at a video clip right now that I have open in QuickTime Pro 7. It's about 15 seconds of a title clip. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you just a little bit. I actually set this up using my iPad. Now what I want to do is I want to add text to this video clip. So I'm going to go over to Pixelmator. The video clip is 1280 by 720 and I set up an image file the exact same dimensions with text in the middle and a transparent background. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Export, and I'm going to save it as a PNG to my desktop. I'm just going to go ahead and call it Title. And I'm going to actually open that file using QuickTime. So as you can see here, I have an additional video file with my Apple Podcast right in the middle with a black background. And I want to add this to my other clip. So I'm going to hit Command A and Command C to copy that clip, close it out. And then I'm going to go and make sure that the entire track here is selected. And then I'm going to go to Edit and then Add to Selection and Scale. This is going to add that entire video on top of the existing one. So I have my Apple Podcast right in the center. It's a little blurry because I need to do some work to get rid of the black in the background. So I'm going to go to Window and then Show Movie Properties and select the video track 2 or the additional clip that I just added. And in the bottom left corner, you're going to look for Transparency and you're going to select the drop down menu and then select Straight Alpha. And that will remove the background, and now the title will play through my entire clip. Now I mentioned before that QuickTime Pro 7 gives you the ability to edit clips. So for example, I can take the slider down below on this track and I can select how much of this video that I want, say 2 seconds. I can go ahead and do a Command C or Command X to cut, and I can go to File, New Player, and then hit Command V, and I now have an additional clip that's been created from that other clip. Only now I have 4 seconds of it. So that gives me, or shall I say 2 seconds. So that gives me a quick way to create a shorter file by just using a very basic editing feature to create a new file. Another very nice feature that comes with QuickTime Pro 7 is the image sequence feature. With the image sequence feature, basically you can set up a video slideshow in seconds. Now the one thing you have to do though is you have to have a folder set up with images already labeled in a sequence, and then they will just magically come into the frame the way you set it up. So I'm going to go to File and then select Open Image Sequence, and then I'm going to select a folder that I set up called Sequence, and I'm going to select the very first one, and it's going to read these images as a sequence because I have image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5. So I'm going to go ahead and open. And you see here I have the option to select different frames. I could select 3 seconds per frame or 2 frames per second and so forth. So I'm going to stick with 2 frames per second and then click OK. And I have here 5 images of myself in different formats, and I'm going to go ahead and play it back so you can get a sense of how that will look. So very quickly I was able to set up a image slideshow in a video format using the image sequence feature. And as I mentioned before, QuickTime Pro 7 also comes with some extra export features. So for example, if I go to File and then Export, I can save my video file to an Apple TV format, to an iPhone format, or I can even save it to a Windows Media video file. Okay, that was QuickTime Pro 7. And let's move over to the native QuickTime application because you can do some pretty cool things with that application as well. So I have QuickTime Player open right now, and on my screen I have 2 Safari browser windows set up. One is Macworld on the left and the Apple website on the right. I want to record the Apple website screen. So I'm going to go over to File with QuickTime open, and I'm going to select New Screen Recording. And I'm going to go ahead and then select this little arrow right next to the record button, and I'm going to select Yeti microphone because I want to be able to record my narration through the microphone that I'm using here. And I'm going to go ahead and click record. And you see it's prompted me. I can click to record the full screen or drag to record part of the screen. I'm going to drag to record part of the screen because I just want to record the section where the Apple website is. I'm going to click start recording. And so now with this screen selected, I can actually scroll through, I can select links and navigate as if I was narrating over Apple's website. If I wanted to give like a tour, for example, of all the new features that Apple has available, I could do that. And then, when you're done, you can just go and click stop. And it will actually show a screen capture of that recording. And then you can save that and add it to one of your own podcasts. And finally, another really nice feature that comes with the native QuickTime application is the ability to record your iPhone or iPad screen. And you do so by going to File and selecting New Movie Recording. After it is selected, you'll see that your iPhone screen will appear, but you have to make sure that your phone is attached to your computer using the 30-pin dock connector. And with it selected, you then choose the drop-down arrow, make sure your phone is selected, and also make sure that your phone is selected under the microphone section as well. That is if you want to record the audio. So let's go ahead now and select record. I'm going to turn the audio up. And now I'm going to go ahead and open up, say, the music app, and maybe record a radio station here so we can get some music in the background. Cool. And this is QuickTime for the native application. Pretty nice. And when you're done, hit stop. And now you have a video recording of your phone. Just that simple. I'm sure you didn't realize that you could do that with the native QuickTime application. This is Tim Brown. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of My Apple Podcast. You can check me out at myapplepodcast.com or check me out at youtube.com/myapplepodcast.